Hey yo, BB here. Wait a second. This is a little dog. So today I'm going to talk about my dog Baxter and Halloween. You're probably thinking, well, how do those two go together? Like, what are you talking about? I'll explain. I'll try to say it without crying, but obviously I'm not going to try to cry. So obviously, this year is going to be my first year without my dog Baxter. Our dog Baxter. It's going to be my sister and I first year without a dog. Well, not the first year, but like without Baxter in particular. Because when our old dog Kasha got put to sleep or, passed away, we, after Kasha died, or was put down, or however you want to say it, we went about 3-4 years, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 years before we actually got Baxter. So after Kasha, we went a few years without having a dog. So obviously, those few years that we went without having a dog, we celebrated Halloween. This year is going to be the first year that we aren't going to be celebrating Halloween with Baxter. Now, you're probably thinking I'm crazy, because of the things I'm going to say. Because you're probably thinking, he's a dog. He was a dog. He was just a dog. And he was. But, like, some people gotta understand is, I looked at Baxter like he was a brother more than I looked at him like he was a dog. Obviously, he was a dog. He was a dog in every shape and form and way he could be a dog. He was a dog. I looked at him like family because some people don't look at dogs like family. I know a lot of people do. A lot of people consider dogs family. But there's some people that are like, it's a dog. It's a cat. They're there when I get home from work. They're there when I leave from work. They're there when I wake up. They're there when I go to bed. I feed them. I groom them. Take them to the vet. They're a pet. I'm sure there's probably people out there like that. But I personally looked at Baxter like he was a brother. I don't want to say he was like an uncle or anything, but he was like a brother from another mother. Like a brother I never had. I would have had 2 brothers. Realistically, I would have had 2 brothers. But fortunately, my mom had too much kids. Pretty sure it went like she had me. She tried to have a boy, but it was miscarriage. Then she had my sister. And she tried again for a boy, and it was a boy, and it was a miscarriage. Her 2 miscarriages were boys. And the day she told me that, I was like, wow, I could have had 2 brothers. Oh, I could have had 2 brothers. Oh, I could have had 2 brothers. Anyways, but I looked at Baxter like he was a brother that just always slept and ate and barked. So, like, when it came to doing stuff, like, for example, whenever me and my dad, we would go out and we put up the decorations, we would always take him out with us outside. Even though it was like cold, because in Illinois, it can get cold in October. Sometimes it's better, some years it's better than the others, but some years it can get cold, like to the point where it snows. Like literally, like maybe 5 or 6 years ago, me and my dad, Kaylin was in high school at the time, so I want to say it was probably like 5 or 6 years ago. Me and my dad, we were at the store in Schaumburg. We were on Schaumburg Road in Barrington at Osco, because I cannot pronounce the first name because of my speech impairment. But we were at the store getting Halloween candy because my dad is a person where he's like a freaking bloodhound. We have to buy candy on Halloween, because if you don't buy it on Halloween and you buy it before, he will eat every single bit of it. I can at least eat some, but I can self-control. He'll eat the whole bag. Anyways, trying to get too off track, but anyways, we go in, we park, we go in, and it's a fairly typical fall day. You know, it's cold. We have our jackets on, so we go in and we watched lobsters fight. It was a tub of lobsters, and they were fighting. And we go in, we pick out a candy, and pick like $65 worth of candy, because we personally like to buy a lot of candy at my house. But like, we come outside and there's a blizzard. Like, there's a blizzard, and then my goofball dad started eating the candy, and it's like, quit eating the candy. It's like, well, I gotta taste test it. And it's like, you know what, if you want candy this bad, go put on a costume, ring the doorbell, and me and Baxter and Mom will pass you out a couple pieces of candy. But this candy is for the trick-or-treater. So goofy when it comes to that. But there was an actual blizzard on Halloween. So it's like, oh, I wonder if we're gonna get any trick-or-treaters. So anyways, you know, Baxter used to come out and he used to help us put up the decorations, and he would just lay on the grass. And he would take his grandpa, but, you know, it was a tradition that he had to come out with us. We had another tradition in the family where we used to have this decoration. It was like a blow-up balloon. It was like a circular balloon. We got it at Spirit. We had to throw it out like 4 or 5 years ago. We had to throw it out because it just got old, and the bats inside of it, because it flew around bats inside of it. It was like a plastic balloon, like a snow globe. And it had bats inside of it, and the bats would always stick to the sides. We would have to always whack it with a bat. So like couple years ago, we had to throw it out because the water started leaking into it, and the bats even stuck to the inside even more, and then it got foggy inside, and it was a really cool blow-up machine. We always had it in the front yard. We now since then put the graveyard there, but we loved that blow-up machine, and we always had a tradition where the first time we blew it up for the year, we would have to have everyone come out and see it. It's like, you know, Christmas vacation, where they would light up the house for the very first time. Everybody had to come out to see it. So we would grab the dog, we would grab Mom and my sister, and, you know, Baxter was there when we carved pumpkins. Like, when me and my dad, because my dad kind of didn't know how to work when we were young. Now I can obviously do my own pumpkin, but, like, when I was younger, there was a fat chance he would give me a knife. I would always be like, give me the knife. And he was like, no, get the hell away from me, Michael Myers. He's like, I don't trust you with a knife. You know, but, like, he did it for safety. But, like, Baxter would be behind under the feet. You know, when we were at the kitchen table, you know, or dining room table, you know, carving pumpkins with us. You know, he would be making, he used to have these containers. We've since then thrown them out, where they were like Jell-O shapes. It was meant for Jell-O. The last few years we had them, we used them for ice cubes. You know, I don't use ice cubes. It's really my mom and my dad use ice cubes, and my sister. So for many years when I was young, we used to use them for Jell-O. And they were Jell-O molds. They had like a bat and a witch and a pumpkin and a skeleton. And for many years we always used to put Jell-O in them. And my dog would be at our feet when we filled them up with Jell-O and put them in the fridge to freeze up. You know, same with the water when we would use them as ice cube trays. You know, it's just, when we make those Pillsbury boy cookies, the cookies that Pillsbury makes, it has like the pumpkin and the ghost on it. Baxter would be there with us making them, you know. You know, passing out the candy for trick-or-treaters. Because that's really something my mom does, because she was so used to doing it when me and my sister would trick-or-treat. My mom was so used to doing it with, you know, when we went out to trick-or-treat. So my mom does it, and when Baxter was young, when he was younger, because we have a heavy metal door and we have a screen door, my mom would lock the screen door and my dad would take the screen out, even though many years ago the screen broke. So he'd technically been out without a screen for about a couple years now, but whatever. My dad used to take the screen out, and one year the screen broke, and my mom's like, "Great, look what you did now." And he's like, "Yeah." So my dog used to hop up with his 2 front paws on the screen, where the screen used to fit in. You know, the little area where you would put the screen in, like the the gauge or garage, or I don't know, where the screen would literally fit in. My dog would put his little 2-foot paws, but he couldn't jump up there the last few years, and he would always greet the trick-or-treaters. Like, they would ring the doorbell, my mom would open the door, Baxter would hop up. You know, when we went to go pick up pumpkins, when we went to go pick our pumpkins up at Hoosier Grove. Hoosier Grove is a farm area by my town. It's literally a block away from where I live. And it's a park too. Like, they have like baseball parks and the soccer fields, and that's where they have like the annual July 4th festival, carnival. You know, they have a few things there, but they used to sell pumpkins there. They actually haven't sold pumpkins there in a few years, but they used to sell pumpkins and hay and corn stabs, whatever Indian corn. And that's where we went to go get our pumpkins and hay and corn stalks every year. And about 3-4 years ago, they stopped selling pumpkins. I think because the company got sold out or bought out or something happened. I don't know. Now when we want pumpkins and hay, we have to go all the way to Bloomingdale. It's not too far of a drive, but still. Compared to going a block away, 20 minutes away. Well, you know, but anyways. You know, when we went to go get pumpkins in Streamwood up at Hoosier Grove, we would take Baxter with us. Dogs were allowed up there because it was technically a park. And they had this little hay thing where you could go. It was like a teepee, and you could go walk through it. You know, Baxter went up to Pumpkin Fest once because they have a Pumpkin Fest up there. It's normally the first week of July. And they have a doggy contest where you could put your dog. They had cat contest and a rabbit contest too, but obviously you put him in the dog contest. For each category, it was $1. And it was just for fun. You know, you would win. If he won, he would get a little ribbon and a bag of treats. But, like, some of the categories we put him in was, like, best costume, handsomest fella, cutest dog. Even though he was a male, so we called it was most handsome fella. When it was a female, it was cutest dog. Longest tail was one we put him in one year. He wouldn't do tricks, even though a trick was a category. Hairiest dog was one year we put him in. Biggest dog, longest, small, I don't know. They had like different categories. And every year he always won either first or second. As the cutest dog in Streamwood or the second cutest dog. There's only like 2 years where he won first. But the last few years we obviously didn't bring him up there because he just got, what the hell? Someone just banged on my screen outdoor. Anyways, obviously the last few years we avoided car rides because it's hard for him to get up in the car and down in the car, and he never could get a good grip. So the only time we would really take him for a car ride if we went to Oma's for a while. For a long time, if we were going to go over to Oma's, or if we went to the vet or PetSmart to get bathed. It was pretty much the only time we really took him for a car ride. Because it was just too hard for him. And he would get out and he couldn't really walk for the first couple of minutes. So Pumpkin Fest, the last few years, we obviously didn't bring him to because it was just too hard for him. And then at Pumpkin Fest, they had three things we would technically sign him up for. We would sign him up for the dog competition. They had a hayride. In the last couple of years, we actually asked the person that was running the tractor for the hayride. We're like, hey, if we buy a dog a ticket, can he come on? And the guy would be like, yeah, so as long as you can get him up the stairs, yeah, he can come on, and you buy him a ticket. So we're like, okay. So the last few years, he would go on a hayride, like a typical hayride that you see with the tractor and the seats of hay. He would go on a hayride. He loved the hayride. One year, my Oma was doing a cakewalk or a pumpkin walk where they would put like a bunch of squares in a circle. And it was pretty much like musical chairs. And once the music stopped, you had to stop on a square. depending on what square you stopped on, you could win a pie or a cake or cookies or something. And Baxter played that game, and even though it was inside of a building, we snuck him in because it was my Oma was working it. So one year he did like a musical chair without chairs, but with paper, with pumpkin, to win a cake or pumpkin, you know. Those days were fun, taking Baxter to the pumpkin fest, so just going up there and getting the pumpkins for the Halloween, you know, it's fun picking the hay out, because we would always let him pick the hay. We would have him sniff the hay, and the one he sniffed the longest, we would put by the front door. You know, it was fun. And I hate that the last several years we couldn't do it for him, but, you know, he didn't obviously want to do it, force him to do it, because he didn't want him to have to suffer. And anyways, the last few years, our place don't even sell pumpkins. I don't even know if they still do Pumpkin Fest, to be honest. It wouldn't make sense if they don't have pumpkins anymore, but Baxter loved Halloween. You know, he loved scary movies. He would literally sit on the couch the days he used to be able to hop up on the couch. He would literally lay right beside me, and he would put his head on my lap. He would eat my popcorn, because the only popcorn this dog ate. This dog was a picky eater for a dog. Let me tell you, he hated fruits and veggies. There were only little fruits and veggies he would actually eat, like mashed potatoes, corn. Can't remember if he liked carrots or beets. My mom gave him, it's actually funny, I was, every Sunday, my mom would clean out the fridge for garbage day, because garbage day is Monday for us. So every Saturday, my mom would clean out the fridge. And she would give my dog, she would give Baxter whatever she possibly could give him as a dog, because obviously there's going to be things you can't give a dog. And he loved Sundays, because he knew Sundays were the day where Grandma cleaned out the fridge. And one day I go in there, and he's like, you know, making a weird noise with his nose. He's like, and he's like sneezing, and he's like, and I was like, ew, Baxter, why are you sneezing? And I was like, Mom, what did you do? Because my mom was like, oh, he. He's like, you laughing, you did something. What did you do to this poor dog? And I was like, did he touch his butt again? And she's like, no, I gave him horseradish. And I'm like, oh my God. It's like, why? She's like, well, he is German. And it's like, that's because he has German Shepherd in him. Well, it does kind of make him German, but like, horseradish? Really? You mean. Anyways, what Baxter would do is, if he didn't know if he liked the pizza food or not, is he would put it in his mouth, he would lick it around a little bit. He would either walk away and then go eat it somewhere else away from us, or he would eat it right in front of us. And to be honest, he really was a picky eater for a dog. Can't remember what exactly everything he liked and everything he hated. But when it came to stovetop popcorn, he only liked stovetop popcorn. He refused to eat microwavable popcorn, kind of. I mean, he ate it if I left it out, but like, realistically, if he had to pick, it would probably be stovetop. But there were a lot of times where we would lay on the couch together and cuddle, and he would be watching a scary movie, and I would get a couple handfuls of popcorn and put it between his furry paws, and he would, you know, eat some popcorn and look up at the movie, and then get some more and put some in his mouth and eat some and look up at the movie, and then afterwards he would stretch and lay down again, because he would get up and then move, readjust and sit back down and lay beside me and put his head on my lap and keep me warm and watch the movie and then fall asleep. It's like his grandpa. He ate the candy and the popcorn, and then once it was gone, he fell asleep. I didn't get my dog candy, but anyway. You know, he loved the holidays. Like, even Christmas. Like, Christmas, he loved to open presents. You know, Thanksgiving, he always liked leftover food afterwards. You know, come Sunday after the same Thanksgiving, it's my dog's probably favorite time of the year. You know, he was a holiday dog, and you would think, okay, he's just a dog. He doesn't know better. Realistically, probably yes. He doesn't know. But he got the point of, like, Christmas, for example. He loved us getting together by the tree on Christmas Day to open presents. He knew that meant fun, that meant love, that meant get together with the family. I don't know why they're getting together. I don't know why they're gathering around Christmas tree. I don't know why they're loving each other, but this means fun. This means excitement. No, he didn't know that, oh, we're doing this because we're going to open presents, and we're opening presents to celebrate Christmas, even though Christmas isn't about opening presents. Christmas is about the birth of Christ. He didn't know that stuff, compared to me and my sister. But he just got the idea of, it's fun, it's time to hang out, it's time to be a dog, to love these people, to love these girls. He loved his girls. And my mom referred to me and my sister to Baxter as the girls. She'll be like, where's the girls? Go find the girls. The girls are coming. The girls are coming. The girls, they're gonna be here. He knew what that meant. He knew that meant, me and my sister. I mean, she would always be like, go wake up Brenna. Brenna needs to be woken up. Go wake up Brenna. And there would be days where he would come and he would wake me up, and he would prance in my room, open my bedroom door with his nose and his beak, and I would hear the door slam from him opening it up. He would come by the side of my bed and bark and lick my face. And I'd be like, Mom, you told Baxter to come and wake me up, didn't you? And she was like, yeah, I told him to go wake up Brenna. And I was like, man, oh, go get Kaylin. Where's Kaylin? Go get Kaylin. He would tilt his head like, what? I love when he tilt his head. He was such a handsome fella. He was just my boy. God, I miss him so much. Really do. A few weeks ago, maybe about a month ago, a couple weeks ago, handful of weeks ago, I guess, I went down to see my sister in Springfield. And it's technically my second time going to see her in Springfield, because the last time I went out was in the end of July, when she moved out, because her job was having like an open house. And we left, and I was gone for a few weeks, and a handful of weeks ago, I went out to go see her. And it was hard because, like, I was a night person, so I was always up at, like, 2, 3 in the morning, and she was always in bed, because she had to work the next day. So I was always up. And the day before I left, I was like, oh, I'm going to go home, and I'm going to see Baxter. And I was like, oh, crap. I was like, why did I say that? Why did I say I was going to go home and see him? And I got excited because I was like, yes, it's going to be sad that I'm leaving my sister. And me and my sister were having a blast. But then again, I'm going to be going home. I'm going to go home to a dog. He's going to be there, and he's going to be wagging his tail and all happy to see me. And then I remembered, it's like, he's gone. That was hard. I actually ended up crying. Because it was the right thing to put him down because of the cancer, but, like, you gotta do what the right thing is to do for the dog or your pet. Because you don't ever want your pet to obviously suffer. But that doesn't always mean that the right thing doesn't hurt. I will tell you, I've had a lot of sad things happen to me in life. I lost my grandpa, 7 years ago, I lost my grandpa. About a year and a half ago, I lost my grandma. Those were really the two family members that I really knew in my life that died. I mean, I've had, like, a few cousins and a few uncles die. A few family members, but I barely knew the family members, So obviously I've had more people die in my family, but when it comes to people I actually really know and hung out with and loved and really cared for and loved and hung out with, my grandparents were probably my first people that probably died that I actually really knew and cared for and loved. And sorry if I start to cry, but something I didn't know until after my grandma died was my Oma was like, you know, I really do hope I die first before Baxter. And my mom was like, why do you say that? And she said it because she said, I want Brennan to be able to go home. I think my mom's home. I'm gonna go. Because I heard a car door. I'll wait until she unlocks the door. Anyways, I don't think I have very long to film. But my Oma said, I want Brennan to be able to go home. And I want Brennan to be able to hang out and be with somebody that loves her and cares for her. And she said, that's why I want me to die before Baxter. Because she said, if Baxter dies before me, my Oma was like, yes, Brennan will have me. But she said, then I die and Brennan has nobody to comfort her. And she's like, I die first, and then Brennan at least has someone to comfort her. And when my mom said that, I started to cry because it's like, that's so sweet. And my Oma didn't think of any excuse to die first, because we would always joke, like mess around, like who's gonna die first? Is it gonna be Oma or is it gonna be the dog? Because my dog and Oma both were people that were kind of sick throughout their whole life. You know, Baxter was 88 when Baxter died. My grandma was 88 when she died. They both died from heart and lung complications. Well, my Oma died from heart and lung complications. Baxter kind of died from lung complications, kind of-ish, even though he had melanoma in his mouth, cancer, but like kind of different things, but similar. He did have lung problems at the time. But we put him down specifically for the melanoma in his mouth. So, like, we would always kind of guess who's gonna die first, as much as that sounds sick. So we will always be like, okay, well, Oma's sick, he's gonna probably die before Baxter. Or we'll be like, okay, Baxter's sick, Baxter's probably gonna die before Oma. And there were times where it's like, okay, well, maybe they're both gonna die at the same time. I don't know, but like, God. Dang. Well, pretty sure my mom's home. And I keep talking about Baxter or Oma, I'm probably gonna cry. So I'm gonna let you guys all go. See you all later. BB out.